When it comes to sound design for audiovisuals, we find ourselves many times trying to create new sounds that do not exist. These sounds are usually intended to accompany some kind of situation or actions that are going on screen. But we, in sound designs, many times we want to exaggerate a little bit to try to reinforce the experience for the audience. That's how we end up using one of the most famous techniques in sound design. It is called layering. Layering, as the name says, consists in stacking different kind of sounds on top of each other. These sounds may come from different kind of sources. For example, synthesized sounds, Foley recordings, old library recordings, and they can be stacked on top of each other, and even processed versions of those sounds. If we want to create a very convincing sound effect, probably a very realistic sound by itself won't have the same effect than a very complex one. That's why we use this kind of layers, but we add some responsibilities to them. And that will be that each kind of layer should be responsible for a different section of the spectrum. A layer will cover the low end, another one may cover the mid-range, and some other the top end. So we can end up with a new sound effect with more information, and that can be like more convincing for all the audience watching the scene and the elements and the actions that are going on the screen. Now we're gonna watch a quick example of how it works. That's why we decided to create a very simple scene of something going on. But with this, we're gonna try to explain how some steps will have three layers. A very low one that will sound like an impact, a mid-range one that can have like the sound of the ground, and a top-end layer that may sound like what's on the surface when this big creature steps on the floor. Then he will roar, he will have like a big scream, and some layers also will be involved with that. So try to enjoy the next example that we're gonna create with my dear friends.